It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we have Felicity T. Gray at the news anchor desk. Actually, she's on break, chomping down on some wonderful faces. They had to call in the other big cats, but there are so many stories to get told, and we're going to go ahead and jump into some of these stories. This story has major irony to it. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was once the mouthpiece of the first Trump administration, can't even get FEMA funding for her state. She was denied FEMA funding for Arkansas. It says Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders appealed FEMA's decision to deny Arkansas's major disaster declaration for individual assistance in the request for a major disaster declaration for public assistance. Severe storms hit her state, and the Trump administration said, nope, states need to pay for it themselves. These red states are going to be impacted a lot because they are poor, they are impoverished, and they rely on federal funds. So much irony to this. So this is what Sarah Huckabee Sanders was saying. Arkansas communities are still recovering from this spring's tornadoes as the sheer magnitude of this event resulted in overwhelming amounts of debris, widespread destruction to homes and businesses, the tragic loss of 3 lives and injuries to many others. To relieve the burden on these counties, cities, and towns, I'm appealing FEMA's decision to deny Arkansas's major disaster declaration request. And then she gives all of these counties. How many other Republican governors are going to feel this because of what the Trump administration is doing with FEMA? So many of them thought that it was just going to be blue states that were impacted. This woman was in Trump 1.0. So this is irony to the fullest extent. Now it's time for one of our favorite segments, some Dear Don letters. You kind of need to look at the screen so you can see how this man spelled some things. But this is Chad. He said, I'm a huge Trump supporter and I thought he would bring the stock market back and get my money back. Shit, he made it worse. I lost $63,000 in 1 week with Trump people say, just chill. He's going to make it come roaring back because of Trump. I don't know about all the worry about the interest rates and F them tariffs. They say Ronald Reagan made America great again. Interest rates were down 13% in the early 80s. You have to have a booming economy to pay that tariffs. So this one isn't Dear Don, it's Dear Elon. Roberta says, Elon, please read this. My grandson has stiff person syndrome, a 1 in a million autoimmune condition. He is trying so hard and is on the dean's list at Coastal Carolina University in South Carolina. He has run into a very serious problem with his Social Security. His identity was stolen, and the person filed an income tax. Therefore, the IRS has filed a report, and Social Security is taking away his Social Security benefits. They now say he owes $10,000 because he made too much money. So she's wanting Elon to jump in and look into this. It would help if people were actually working at the Social Security office, which Elon has tried to eliminate, but he couldn't eliminate it. So he's just firing a bunch of people. So it's probably going to take a long time for her grandson to get any relief. Now we have a set of tweet transitions. This person, Just My Opinion, back in November said, oh, Americans voted and we spoke. Your administration will go down as the worst in the history books. You put in Kamala Harris as the candidate when she was a complete failure as the VP. You supported men and women's sports and let in over 12 million illegals. November 6th. November 6th, again, speaking to Mike Johnson, says, let's get some stuff done, because Mike Johnson said, we have saved America. The American people have spoken, and Trump and Senator J.D. Vance are going to the White House. Now, this person is talking to Donald Trump. What do you mean? I voted for you and prices are up. Americans are losing their jobs due to cuts. Outsourcing to India. You have student loan payments going up. 401ks are going down. WTF, you are taking out the middle class. That was April 15th. No more like, oh my God, he's going to be so great for the economy. He's like, WTF. So look right here in the middle. It says Trump is looking into the legal question of deporting American citizen criminals to foreign prisons. And to that, Blair says Trump is the president now. Imagine what will happen when he is not the president and someone in the government finds you guilty of a crime and then sends you to prison in a foreign country. Dear God, I voted for Trump to save the republic, not run it over with a Mack truck. And Mack truck, I think that they are laying off a bunch of people. I think I started reading up on that article. I do need to look into that. But that's what Blair said. And at least some of these people are thinking, you do not want to set this precedent. If they set this precedent, then they can literally just start stripping people's rights. The fact that he is defying Supreme Court justices saying bring back Kilmar Albrego Garcia, the fact that he is saying, no, I'm not bringing him back, that is a terrible precedent because that man was not here illegally. He was going through the process. That is a terrible precedent. And the Hodge twins, who are extra colored MAGA, they're saying don't like this. Democrats will use it on conservatives. But it's not even about Democrats using it on conservatives. Why do you want American citizens to be shipped away? Why do you want to set this precedent at all and start eliminating due process? They should want better for their country, even if Republicans are in charge. And that brings me to this article. This man was treated like a criminal, according to him. He is a brown. And he voted for MAGA. He says, treated like a criminal. U.S. citizen says he was detained returning from Canada. A New Hampshire real estate attorney and American citizen returning home from Canada says he was detained at the border without an explanation. Bashir Atala and his wife, Jessica Fakhri, were traveling back from a quick trip Sunday when they say U.S. Customs and Border Protection stopped them when re-entering the country in Vermont. I literally drove my car to Canada for the weekend, and on the way back, I was treated like a criminal. And he said he has been a U.S. citizen for 10 years. The thing about clamping down on these borders, it doesn't just keep people out, it keeps people in, because if they make people scared to leave, like this could happen, they know that they just got to stay at home. We are literally stuck because once you leave and try to come back, they could confiscate your phone. They could start going through all of your whole life. We have Elon Musk in office right now that is going through people's lives. This type of thing, they are going to start disappearing people. So he was held for nearly 5 hours, according to him. He tried to call his sister, Selena Tala, who is an immigration lawyer. But I wanted to get to this part. I really thought things would change after this administration. When we have Mr. Trump in office, things would change for the better. Things have actually changed for the worse. Yes, because he doesn't give a damn about anybody. I don't know why you people thought that you were going to change things by voting this man in again. And you're a brown. What did you expect? Now we have this man. This man is a farmer. He posted a video to his TikTok talking about how the tariffs are impacting his farm and how buying these like metal rods, how the price has basically doubled. So people are sending him thoughts and tariffs because he's basically reaping what he's sown. Here's the creator, NC Family Farm. He says, thanks, Trump, not. And then he has this video and he talks about the cost and everything. And so y'all know, because there was a small clip at the end that said, I voted for Trump, and then it went off. But you know that on his video, everybody was jumping into the comments. They had some things to say. Cool Dad says, you're paying double, but on the bright side, Columbia University isn't going to be teaching about Black history anymore. That should help your bottom line. The Truth says that's a good point. He doesn't mind paying double as long as he doesn't have to hear anything about Black history. Brittany says, I wanted Trump to hurt the other people, not me. AC from CA says, unfortunately for us, when he gets hurt, we all get hurt. Plus, most of those farmer workers look like the ones Trump and his stooges wanted to deport. And he made it clear on his page that all of his workers were legal. They had legal status. Carolina says, I mean this with the most respect. You're getting what you voted for. He said he would do this. Kamala told us it wasn't going to be good for us, but y'all elected him anyway. Mask Arcade says he gives some advice. Stop ordering Starbucks and eating avocado toast. That's what I've been told to save money. Hope this helps. Kelly says, so you got what you voted for. What's the issue? Monet says, bothering us for nothing. Joe says, literally, like we don't have enough to hear. This user says, this is the find out phase of FAFO. Mark says, idiots voted for him and have no idea about economics. And Danny says, exactly. If you voted for him, I don't I don't even feel bad. So that is what the people are saying. You chime in and let me know what you think.
All right, guys, I didn't really want to have to get on here and do this, but I had to. These are fiberglass stakes right here. Those big bulky stakes on the back of the truck, wooden stakes. I called 2 weeks ago to get a quote on these fiberglass stakes because we need some more stakes this year. I got a quote, 83 cents. I called the man this morning. I said, hey, I know these tariffs are crazy and everything going on. I said, what can you do me on those fiberglass stakes now if we needed a load? It's a 3-month ETA from time you place the order. He said, Taylor, he said, you don't want to hear this price that I'm about to give you. And I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those stakes now is going to be $1.74 a piece. And I said, well, you know, and I know both that we can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.